What's going on, Leo? Welcome to your weekly forecast for the week of October 12th through the 18th of 2020. Brian here with you. Thank you so much for being here. Huge week. Mercury retrograde on Tuesday, new moon on Friday, making crazy aspects. Wild new moon. Probably one of the most powerful ones we are going to see that isn't an eclipse in a long time. So, looking at the chart here, we got this Mercury retrograde in your 4th house, opposing Uranus in your 10th. That's on Tuesday. This Mercury retrograde is definitely having you dive deep within your subconscious to find your true nurturing ability, you could say, to build that strong foundation within yourself and to bring it to mind. And I think Uranus here is trying to help you really disconnect from any emotional thing that's holding you back so that you can build towards something amazing and connect to something that's going to give you so much reward in the future. But it's really going to help, I'd say, bring that out in a big way. Definitely a heavy Mercury retrograde that's taking place here. Very, very deep in Scorpio, psychological, very emotional. And Uranus is trying to elevate those emotions to the future, to something amazing that you can create and work towards. You got this new moon in your 3rd house in Libra. It's going to oppose Mars and Eris in your 9th house. This is a major tug of war between opinions and beliefs and your environment. And is the environment right? Are the people in your life right? You got the North Node in Gemini in your 11th house. It's all about what you connect with and how you innovate and how you disconnect from what isn't innovating with you to take you into the future right now. Big part of this. And I think you have to be willing. There's a lot of cadence going on with these cadent houses. Of course, your 3rd, 6th, and 9th, because we have a big T-square to Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn in your 6th house. This is about going and putting making your environment of a universal expansion and going deeper into the universal truths and not getting stuck. And we have to be objective. I would say, Leo, it's all about how objective you can be right now in your reality and the people that are there. And are you able to disconnect from anything that you don't want in this reality, or are you just going to get so stuck in it that you can't see into the future of what could be great and what could be amazing? But it's like definitely could feel stressful for Leos right now. There's a lot of that 6th house energy with the T-square putting all the pressure on it. And remember, the opposite house of that 6 is the 12th. It's a surrender. And the more you can surrender to something bigger, the more this expansion will take place. And the more, I would say, that you're going to get that wisdom that you're looking for with Mars retrograde in the 9th. But that's where you can find, I would say, the ultimate balance is by the surrender to something unknown and just let that wisdom pour through you and bring it to reality. We can't just discredit reality. We got to keep the day-to-day going, but we have to transform the day-to-day here with Pluto making this big T-square here. And it could feel really rough, but it's this change of environment, this willingness to be courageous about creating the environment you want from really like merging the spirituality and merging with something bigger. And if you restrict yourself from that with Saturn, it's going to stress you out in a big way with Jupiter in the mix too. I mean, these are tight. So it's definitely this disconnection from, I would say, any sort of reality here that isn't taking you to a better place and isn't in the long-term goal of life. And maybe even reevaluating long-term goals and disconnecting from the ones that aren't of the higher vibration and aren't of like a universal calling that's trying to take you to build in this direction. And, we get Venus. It's going to make the sextile to Mercury early in the week. So I think having that ultimate value and bringing that to your mind of nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself in really powerful ways, to find the confidence and the beauty within relationships and within yourself, but by really focusing on the relationship with yourself. And of course, that Venus is going to be in opposition to Neptune So I think emotionally, it can be really hard to see the truth and to see the value if you're in some sort of delusion of what you think reality should look like, but you're not willing to transform and change it. But if you're willing to tune into something higher, spiritually, metaphorically, or metaphysically, I should say, and not just get so stuck in a nitpicky reality that has to look a certain way, but to change it and to let those changes get downloaded to you. I mean, I would say this week could be extremely, extremely positive for what you're going to build and how you're going to get there. And by taking care of yourself and by creating the environment you want, by disconnecting from the people that don't make sense in your life, or just disconnecting from the consensus of what you thought made sense, but does no longer make sense. And now it's time to connect to what does, but from a higher perspective. And I think that that could get you through the fog, that could get you through any sort of stress that would possibly come your way. It's a wild week. We're stepping into big time changes, and I think we should embrace it. You pulled the Lovers card. Yeah, I mean, if there isn't a love, I would say mainly for yourself. But if there isn't a love in relationships, if there isn't like a real twin flame vibe within the people in your immediate reality, you got to make the changes. You got to go for the relationships and connect to the ones that are of the true love. And that's going to honestly take away any stress that comes because you're already connected to that divine connection, which is love. And it is the connection to knowing that the universe is with you and is going to connect you to the right people at the right time. And you have to be willing to let those people come into your life by not getting so stuck in things that are just of a routine, but to transform that into something better that brings the ultimate love in your life, whether it's relationships or that relationship with yourself. It's very important, Leo, and it will help you not stress out. If you fill this week with love, you're probably not going to get stressed out. But I hope you don't. I wish you the best. I love you very much. You got this. I'll see you next time. Peace.